Let's kick.
Hi, it's Maya the Activist, and welcome back to another episode of The Escape, where hopefully your mind, body, spirit, whatever you need to take a break is taking a break, because that's what I'm doing. I'm really excited for this episode. We have about 3 to 4 questions, topics to get into. But before we get into this episode, we need to talk about next week's. Next week is pretty exciting. It's my second guest host episode, and we're going to go live with that one. Once again, that's every Tuesday. So it's going to be next Tuesday, January 4th at 8 p.m. So around the time that this post, we're going to be actually going live, and I'm going to post the pre-recorded episode a little bit after that, so we'll be posted like Tuesday night, but it'll be sometime after 8 p.m. I have not leaked or dropped who the guest host is yet, and I plan to do so soon, but in the meantime, between time, please be on the lookout. Please tune in to the live episode. It's going to be a good time. The first one was nice. My hair. The first one was nice, and I really want to keep that momentum going. I want to open up the space to, a whole bunch of different perspectives is the goal. I feel like it's a little bit of my responsibility to make sure that I'm not just single-handedly shoving my perspective down the throats of people who are interested in what I have to say just because they're interested in what I have to say. That's it. So I look forward to having other perspectives too, so we can welcome in people who may feel a little uncomfortable about mine or my way of thinking. I'm okay with that. So, with that being said, I think I talked enough random jabber. We can now get into the questions. Okay? So, let's do that. The first one is, this is a good one, how to deal with unresolved grief. And it's a good one because the past 2 or 3 years for a lot of people, for everybody in its own fashion, has been absolutely crazy. And we've lost a lot of things, whether that was security, happiness, a person, a loved one, a pet, opportunity, a job. Like, we've all been grieving so many things. Going out has been its own grieving process. So I feel like dealing with unresolved grief requires you to just be honest with yourself first and foremost. That's always going to be my first step for anybody. The world can lie to you all day long, but you're the last person that should be doing that. And so I think you should be honest about what you're grieving about and to what extent, even if it's some real mess and darkness. So that's what I can say. If you feel like it's that dark or that deep, you should add maybe a professional into it. The thing though about grief is that it's not a one and done situation. It's not 1 minute I'm grieving and the next minute I'm good now. That's not how it works. It's actually a few steps in it. I think 7, I want to say. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look it up and I'm going to try to plug it right about there. The steps of grief. But I know that there's more than one. And I know that everybody's process is different. And I know that everybody's shelf life, or you can't put a shelf life on people's grieving process. So we cannot sit here and put a timeline on how long it should take you to grieve something, because everybody feels different about that something, even if we both experience the same thing at the same time. A lot of things can exist at the same time. That's why I believe in parallel universes, but, we're going down a rabbit hole. But first step with dealing with unresolved grief is being honest about what you're grieving about, being kind to yourself and realizing that there's steps through this grief, and seeking help. Seeking resources. If that means reaching out to your loved ones and say, hey, I need somebody to come and be with me for a second, or I need someone to hold me accountable for a second, or seeking an actual professional, a life coach, like moi, if you're interested, or a therapist or a psychiatrist. There's layers to this. But yeah, seek the help. Use the resources. My mom likes to say, don't be an island. So don't be an island. That's the best way I can answer that question without asking this person more details. But yeah, those are the first steps. I will start there, and then you can build upon it. So the second question. That's a little lengthy. My family doesn't approve of my lifestyle. I want to feel comfortable with them, but after hearing their views, I don't know if it'll be anything more than just surface. Is that okay? Yeah, if that's okay with you, yeah. 2022, we not forcing ourselves on nobody. We're not forcing puzzle pieces together. We're not forcing people to accept us. We're not forcing it. We're going to be like the leaf. Go watch Avatar. Be like the leaf. Just float through the wind, letting things pass you by, or be a swan and let things roll off your back. And I know that's going to be easier said than done. That's what I meant. But I feel like you're going to be happier for it. Fighting so hard to create space for people that you don't even know even wants to be there is a slap in your face. And yeah, you deserve more. I feel like different lifestyles shouldn't dictate too much in a family structure. They should have your back regardless. And if you're feeling as though the only type of relationship I can have with them, as you would say, surface, then understand that everybody has their purpose in your life. And just because you want to have a deeper, meaningful relationship doesn't mean that you're going to. That is a two-party decision. You can't really make that decision on your own, and you don't want to be putting yourself in an abusive situation. Also, to make you feel better, God had different angels to do different things. He didn't send his warrior angels down to sing or play instruments. And it's not that they can't, or one was better or worse than the other, but it's that everybody had their purpose in the kingdom. And in your kingdom, everybody serves their purpose. You have to learn to be okay with that. That's what I'm trying to do. So maybe we can work on that together. But yes, it is okay. It is okay. Y'all getting deep. Let's see. How do you break up with a friend? Family. I think they wanted me to answer how do you break up with a friend, and then how do you break up with family. Break up with friends be like the worst breakups. I hate saying goodbye. Like, even if I see someone saying goodbye in like a movie, and like I know they'll be back, but it was like really touching, like I'll tear up a little bit. I try to hide it, but I'm not a goodbye type of person, and that's what makes things hard to let go for me, or hard for me to let go. But like when it is time to break up with a friend, I think everybody's going to do it differently, but I feel like, I feel like as long as there's respect there, you should respect them. Respect the things that they've shared with you. Respect the things that, like, experiences that you have. And it's okay. Like, let that relationship go. You never know. You guys might meet up in a whole nother time and space, and things could be different. It sounds like a relationship, like a couple relationship, but it is like that though. But y'all can meet up at a different time and space. I think, like, I feel like my mom said this, and I'm gonna say that my mom said this, but in life is mostly, we're the train, and life is a big tunnel, and we're just driving towards the light. light could mean death. But anyway, we're driving towards the light, and we're hoping that on the other end, even though it's dark in the tunnel and we may lose things and people along the way, that in the end, we're all still heading towards the same light. And we'll meet up at some point together after we've gone through our own separate things. And I can attest to that. I had a friend, I've known her since 4th grade, and we fell off for maybe, like 2 or 3 years. And recently, you know, both of our hearts have been pricked to reconnect because of the things that we experienced together without knowing that we experienced it together, and the fact that we're experiencing different things now as grown women, that I need that friendship back. So it's okay to walk away from something that doesn't serve you right now anymore. And if the opportunity presents for it to serve you again and everything works, amen. If not, at least you can say you did what's best for you, and that is what's important. Family, that's a little tougher. Tougher, is that a word? I'm gonna look that up. That's a little more tough because they are tied by blood, but that doesn't mean that you can't sever the ties, because there's plenty of family that I'm no longer feel a connection to, due to, I just feel like we're on different paths, and I'm learning to be okay with that. I don't have a choice. How did that happen? That was by force. But if it's unhealthy for you, even if it is by force, you still have to make the decision to sever the tie. And the reason why I say that is because when it's by force, you're still holding on to the relationship, the person, the idea of what it could have been. And until you make the decision that this isn't for you, this isn't serving you, this isn't what you want anymore, that's going to be something that you're going to be grieving for a while, because you won't let it go. You won't let the person go. You won't let the potential of the relationship go. So instead of it being something that works for your benefit, you're viewing it from a different perspective of you actually mourning a relationship that really wasn't good for you in the first place. I'm assuming if you have to break up with them. So just be mindful of your perspective of it. Yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, it's going to be painful and not pleasant, but it also can be the start of a whole new chapter, a whole new decade of life for you. Who knows? So be open. I hope I answered that question good for you, because oh child, y'all hit me with the hard questions. I need to find me a light one. The next one is, I feel behind in life. I feel like I can do more, but the same feeling brings me down. What should I do? Girl, some of this stuff you'll be learning for a while, and that's only because you are forever changing and you run into multiple tests. You know how at school you have like a pop quiz here, benchmark there, and then you have the midterm, and then you have a few more small tests, and then you have a final. It's like that. So for me, I'm still being tested on this because I understand what it feels like, the thought of needing to do more and that I should do more paralyzing you. But at the same time, come on here. But at the same time, you can't, because it only causes the cycle to continue. So if you know that this cycle, let's just pick a point in the cycle, right? Let's pick it I feel bad, or I feel behind. I feel behind could be the beginning of this cycle, right? And then it goes to like, I feel like I can do more. Okay, that's a positive thing. To feel behind and then feel like you can do more is a positive thing. Some people feel behind and feel like there's nothing they can do. So, me looking at the glass half full, I say I feel like I can do more is a positive thing. Then the next part of the cycle is the same feeling brings me down. So somewhere between you feeling like you can do more and you being brought down, there's things happening. And if you don't put like a block in between that, then you're going to keep creating the same cycle of, now I feel down, therefore I'm not doing anything, and now I feel behind again. And I still feel like I can do more because I knew I could do more before, and I knew what those things were. But that thought right there then made me feel down again. So there's something happening between you feeling like you can do more and you actually doing the act. Faith without work is dead. So there might be a performance issue there. Maybe you have anxiety around the things that you should be doing more of. Maybe it's not the actual task, but the mental space that it puts you in, or maybe there's a trigger in there somewhere. Maybe you tried it already and you failed. Been there. All last year. And this year I'm currently being tested on this because I have the opportunity to be back in the same space that I failed in. And so if you go in there with the mindset that you've already failed, then you have. You're the only person that can dictate what failure and what success is to you. That's why I broke that down, because to me, success in this is that I feel like I can do more. That is very successful. A lot of people can't get to that. And I think that's build upon-able. That and identifying that you're somewhat behind in life, but that's the only reason why I didn't say that is because that is subjective. That is subjective. And now that I said that, I want to let this person know. You feeling behind in life is natural, and it's okay. You're entitled to that, and you're entitled to feel ambitious and wanting more for yourself. I want that for you. But don't rush your cycle. Don't rush your journey. Don't rush your process. You are where you are right now for a reason. And the reason is you learning why you are where you are right now. Spend time there. Sometimes people are in a rush to get ahead or a rush to get to a certain point, and you miss the whole purpose of you being there in the first place. This probably is a cycle in your life in multiple fashions of your life. And so if you didn't learn it when it was time for you to, stop procrastinating at school, then you're not going to learn it when it's time for you to stop procrastinating at work, procrastinating at home, procrastinating in your relationship, procrastinating with you. So just learn the lesson so that you don't have to repeat it. Either do it once or you do it over again. There's no right or wrong. It's either once or again. Once or again. You choose how it's right and how it's wrong. Gosh, these are good questions. Let me see if I have something light before I wrap up here. Gosh, these are good questions. I'm gonna save some of these. Because I have some good episodes coming up, and I'm really excited about that. This was also a good one. So with that being said, I'm actually going to wrap up here. I'm going to let y'all absorb all the things that I said with you. And I cannot wait until next week's episode. Don't forget, that one is live next Tuesday, January 4th. It's going to be live at 8 p.m. on my Black Matriarch page. You can tune in and watch it live, or if you miss it, you can watch it then on my page, because I'm going to post it there. So I cannot wait to see y'all join in the conversation, whether that's on live or in the comments. Once again, I'm Maya the Activist. This is The Escape, and hopefully your mind was at rest here and you were able to take a little break. See you soon. Peace.
Got the kick.